Thunder and Yamato take care of business there. We're going to go and do the news. Let's do it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Clyde Plays News. Today's top story is some new ship restrictions that are coming to clan battles that are going to change up everything. And then maybe not restrict as much stuff. But first, let's get over to our other story really briefly. We'll pop this bad boy up. We've got a few changes coming to test ships. Now, normally I don't talk a lot about test ship changes because really until the ships are a little bit more real, until they're about to be released, they can make a lot of wild changes, and I don't want to stir up the population, but there's a couple of things that are kind of interesting. The Clausewitz is getting an increase. Clausewitz is getting some buffs. It's getting an increase in HE maximum shell damage from 2400 to 2950, and we're seeing an increase in the fire chance from 14 to 15%, so that's a nice little bump for Clausewitz, which is the German cruiser, the German super ship cruiser that's going to go at the top of the Hindenburg line. Clausewitz is not going to have any crazy tricks or magic games or anything like some of the current crop of super ships has, but it is going to be a slightly better, a slightly more tier 11. This one goes to 11 version of the Hindenburg. So if you're a big Hindenburg fan, you're probably going to be a big Clausewitz fan, and these buffs are going to make it even better for you. Collingwood is the tier 7 premium British battle cruiser that's probably going to be available through an event or through some sort of random box nonsense or whatever when we come out with the British battle cruisers. So Collingwood, again, a tier 7 premium, kind of like what we had with Toulon here with the French cruiser event that we're in the middle of right now. This is getting an armor buff on the forward and aft armor. It's going from 16 millimeters to 26 millimeters. I think I did some math, and that increases the overmatch caliber required by like 140 millimeters or something, 145 millimeters probably or so. So that's going to be very helpful for the Collingwood, which was extremely easy to overmatch before this buff, at least, again, mathematically. I am not a tester. I have not played this ship, so I don't know anything about Collingwood from my own experience. I'm just looking at the numbers that we see here on the WoW's dev blog. The other thing we're seeing is the main battery reload booster is also being buffed. It's going to last an extra 5 seconds. So you're going to get another 5 seconds of reload boost, which is a good thing. Main battery reload time is also coming down 1 second. That's not a huge adjustment to the capability or the DPM of the ship, but it is a buff. We are seeing a slight nerf to Huron. I did the math, the DPM math here on the Huron, and I think each gun was, don't quote me on this, or if you want to do your own math, that's great. I think each gun was about 26,000 damage, and it's coming down to 23,000 damage with the adjustment here. They're reducing the main battery HE shell damage from 1900 to 1600, but they're also reducing the reload time. So it's a buff and a nerf together that net together to be a DPM nerf of about 2,000 or 3,000 damage per minute. Maximum DPM for Huron. Huron's guns were identical to Haida in the original announcement. It was the exact same gun platform as Haida, but just with slightly worse concealment and no smoke and a heal. But now it is going to be different. The guns are actually going to have a different performance characteristic to balance against the heal. So we are seeing a little bit of a DPM nerf for Huron. Rooke, Hawke, and Duncan, they're getting a reload nerf. They're losing a second on their reload time. Rio de Janeiro is also getting nerfed by 1 second. Hampshire is getting a main battery reload time increase from 10 to 10.5 seconds. That's going to be a nerf. And then the maximum AP damage is being reduced from 4,500 to 4,350. Hampshire, you may remember, was announced on the dev blog a while ago, and then no one has talked about it. It is a British cruiser, AP only. So kind of like Gibraltar, but down at tier 8, I believe. Yeah, tier 8 it says. And then I think Hampshire does have torpedoes, but no sensors, or at least no radar. I don't know. I'd have to take a look at the original article. So Hampshire's kind of an oddball. I'm gonna say that it's kind of supposed to be a lower tier version of what we can what we expect out of Gibraltar in the way that it is a heavy cruiser, but AP only. So we're seeing a little bit of a nerf to Hampshire after some testing's been done. Now, if we go back to our top story today, What we're taking a look at is some changes to clan battles. Now, not everybody plays clan battles, but I think a lot of people, whether you play them or not, are interested in clan battles. And one of the things we've seen in the last several seasons has been some changes in ship restrictions. At the very beginning of this season, before week 1 even went down, World of Warships, or the crew over at Wargaming, restricted Petro and Kleber, banning them from competition. Those ships are now available for play. You can bring Petro and Kleber into the battle, but you can only bring 1 Petro and you can only bring 2 Klebers. So I don't know why you would want 7. Well, actually, for the memes is why you would want 7 Klebers. I think is what you would want. But we're seeing these guys come out of retirement. So I think starting this week, we're going to start to see players running Petropavlovsk. We're going to see Klebers, absolutely. And of course, you'll see differing amounts of those depending on what league you're playing in. The higher leagues, the better skilled players, the folks who are up at Typhoon and Hurricane, we're going to see more Klebers up there, right? Lower leagues, we're probably not going to see as many, but we're still going to see some, because that ship is going to be available. Another adjustment to what we're seeing here is Conde and Napoli are both being restricted. They're going from being 2, or you're going from being able to have as many as you can fit in the other restrictions, down to just 1 per battle. So Conde was a super ship, meaning that you can only have 2, not because it's Conde, but because it's a super ship. Now it's going to be restricted to a single Conde per team, and the same with Napoli. So we're going to see a lot less of that double Conde, side super flanker maneuver happening from Conde. Elar says, Wargaming is also banning Clyde plays live. Hey, wait, I haven't heard about this, because his present, that is not true. I wish that were true. I wish that were true. I don't know if people were playing more than 1 Napoli. I was often seeing a Napoli paired with a Conde. Thomas asks, who was playing more than 1 Napoli? I don't know, actually. I'd be interested in seeing who was doing some of that stuff. But that is literally all I have for the news today. Fairly short news segment, but I thought those were some interesting things to discuss. So we're going to go right back in. I'll probably run another couple of battles tonight here. I might try to get to bed a little bit early, so we'll probably, 2, maybe 3 more battles, and then we'll call it a night. But thank you so much for being a part of the news today. If you're watching this later on YouTube, why don't you come hang out with us on Twitch? We would love to have you at twitch.tv/ClydePlaysLive. We do this 3 times a week over there where we talk about the news, but we also play video games, obviously, specifically World of Warships, but other games as well. Typically, it's WoWs, though. So if you'd like to come and hang out with us live, interact with myself, the chat, Skada, all the wonderful people that stop by, the Wargaming CCs and everybody else, we would love to have you come hang with us. So please consider doing that. Of course, if you're here with us on Twitch right now, we're going to go play a couple more games. So thanks again for being a part of the news tonight, and we will catch you in our next update. Take care of each other, guys. Thanks.
This has been the news on Clyde Plays Live.